Hello, I'm EG, and this is Crocheting with EG. And in this video, I do have a yarn haul from Hobby Lobby. What else is new? But and I have a couple other random things crochet related, a couple that aren't, but whatever. You know, one of my variegated videos. But I am going to start with my makes. I did make a nice scarf because, like in my last video, I said that we were supposed to get, or we were predicted to get 20 inches of heavy wet snow in this storm that we had gotten. And it changed, but it changed to, we weren't supposed to get that much snow. We were supposed to get like a half to 3/4 of an inch of ice, which would be like even more catastrophic to, you know, get on the trees and weigh them down, and which could, you know, fall on the houses and bring down the power lines and the poles, and it was terrifying. Luckily, it all worked out, and we did get a lot of ice, and it's still out there, just a total mess. But we didn't get the kind of ice where it coats the trees and the lines and stuff. Luckily, the temperature down here, because I guess the temperature in the atmosphere was warm enough where it came down as rain, and then we were supposed to get all this freezing rain. But luckily, the temperature down here, even though they predicted it wouldn't be as cold as it was actually cold enough at the surface for it to turn into sleet. Which, I mean, it's still a mess. It's still an icy mess out there. If I knew how to ice skate, I could ice skate, you know, down our freaking road. I mean, it's that messy. But luckily, it turned into sleet, which you just kind of pinged off of everything. And I mean, it did coat the roads and stuff, but it wasn't the kind of like freezing rain that would coat the lines and the power lines and the trees and stuff. So, but it's still a mess. But, you know, we really lucked out. But I did want to make like another scarf, even though I have plenty of scarves and hats and blankets. And like I said, well, we could have stuffed our clothes with skeins of yarn just to keep warm if we needed to, if the power had gone out and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it was fine. The power didn't even flip off at all. But I did make a really nice scarf just to, you know, keep my mind and hands busy or whatever. And so I'll show that. And then just think about this whole experience, this storm and stuff, because I had gotten my first payment because, you know, my channel was monetized and stuff, and I got my first payment from the ad revenue and mainly the super thanks from people, which, you know, I made something about that too. But I was thinking about, you know, this whole experience and stuff, and how I was getting my first payment from YouTube. I mean, to go from like my channel, me having all this hope about my channel, and then it just, you know, not being a success, and me leaving YouTube and stuff, to like coming back and then, you know, ending up where I'm actually on YouTube, and I got monetized, and I get to interact with all kinds of people and stuff, and I actually get enough money from the ad revenue and the super thanks and stuff, which means more than the ad revenue actually, in my head. I mean, that getting money directly from subscribers is, like, you know, way more important than like ad revenue. But you know, it's all lumped together. But like, I got my first payment, and like, it was crazy. And I already wrote a post about it on my community tab if you saw that. But it meant a lot that I got that money from YouTube, and because it helped too. Because like when we were supposed to get all that ice and stuff, and they were saying that, you know, there could be like widespread power outages and like, you know, almost like in a catastrophic way if we got like, you know, 3/4 of an inch of ice. And there were some areas like to the west of us where they were supposed to get like an inch of ice, and which, you know, could have just devastated like everything. It was a really stressful time, and so I was thinking, like, what if the power goes out and all this? And so I'm like one of those people that I wanted to make sure I stocked up on everything, because I thought, like, if we are gonna go through power outages and stuff, and like lose the food in our fridge, and like I needed to get, like, you know, canned food and to make sure that we're at least fed, and you know, I got all kinds of like the headlamps or whatever, and the candles and batteries, and like I did everything I could to prepare as best I could for the storm and everything. And getting that first payment from YouTube, I mean, it really helped out a lot when I was going through the store and trying to stock up on and prepare as best I could and get all the batteries and all the canned foods and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it really helped. And so that's why I wanted to do this whole super thanks. I mean, I mentioned this in a previous video, like wanting to honor all the super thanks that I got and everything. And so I wanted to do this now, because it felt like I've been so appreciative of like this whole, because like the money that I got is, I mean, the big chunk of it, like, you know, more than half of it was from the super thanks, like directly from you. And but then there is a part of it that was the ad revenue, which is from the people the people that gave me the super thanks, and everybody else that just watched was my my videos. I'm not ridiculous. I mean, the fact that you like, sit through my videos as, long-winded as they are and all over the place and stuff. This is supposed to be Crocheting with EG, and how many times have I gone off on tangents about TV shows or movies or whatever. Say, oh, look at this, Friends mug that I got, or, you know what I'm saying? I go off on all this stuff and everything. And to think that, like, you actually sitting through my videos and stuff is, like, giving me money through the ad revenue and stuff. I mean, it's wild that I'm the one that's getting that money, and I mean, it should be going to you, like, paying you as a thank you for watching my videos, God, whatever. So I wanted to do that super thanks thing to honor all the super thanks that I got, and then I also came up with a way to kind of honor the people that may not have the money to give me any super thanks, but would like to, or have the thought to give me a super thanks, but that maybe they just don't have the money, and like, believe me, I would, like, if you don't have enough money to give me a super thanks, like, let's say you're out in the store. I've already said this before, but like, I mean, I really mean this. Like, if you're out in the store and you think, I should, like, if you're like going through the yarn aisle of all places, and you're like looking through there and you're thinking, oh, there's a deal on some yarn, I should pass that on to EG or whatever. What I should do, I should give him, like, a super thanks or whatever, because I do watch his videos. But then if you look and you think, but I might want to take advantage of that deal too, because that's a really nice yarn. Like, just get the yarn. Like, I would rather you. I mean, I appreciate every super thanks that I get, but like, if you only have a limited amount of money, and it's, you have to kind of debate, like, oh, should I give him a super thanks, or should I get me some yarn for myself? Get the yarn. Like, I mean, I really. But I did want to honor the people that you'll probably have the thought of giving me a super thanks, but they just don't have the money, or they came across as many deals as I have, and they bought them all, whatever. And so they just don't have any money because they bought a bunch of yarn. But whatever. And so I wanted to honor that, and then I also wanted to add something to the little super thanks thing as a symbol of, like, my thanks to you for just watching my videos, for being here, for subscribing and stuff, and for and for the people that give me the super thanks. I wanted to add a little thing to this to kind of represent my being thankful for you, just for being here, and for for this whole experience, for one thing, and then after I got monetized and stuff, for actually being responsible for giving me and my mom and my family peace of mind during I mean, what could have been way more stressful than it was, but it was really stressful, that storm that we went through, and we had so much more peace of mind knowing that if the power went out or whatever, then we would be okay, and we would have food and stuff to last if if it lasted for a couple weeks or whatever, like they were saying that it could happen if the whole power grid shuts down and all the lines keep falling, and the weight of an inch of ice or like whatever. It gave us such peace of mind knowing that if our refrigerator went out, we would be okay. We would have plenty of water. We would have plenty of food and stuff. And it was because of you in this whole experience, and watching my ridiculous ass, God, and watching my videos, and as long-winded as they are, but so I really wanted to do this super thanks thing, and to thank the people that give me a super thanks, and to thank you and anybody that watches my channel, and so I did that. So let me start with the scarf. This is a really pretty scarf. And so what I did, I used that Big Twist sapphire color that I said that it reminds me of the really vibrant tealish blue color that's in the Red Heart polo stripe that I used to make my niece's blanket. And I said in a previous video probably 10 times, God, my videos are long enough, and yet they wouldn't be as long if I didn't repeat myself so many damn times. But in the polo stripe, there's this really vibrant tealish blue color in it, and I always like every time I would get to that color when I made my niece's blanket, I would think to myself, I wish that Red Heart would make a skein exactly that color. And then when I came across the Big Twist sapphire, when they finally got it in at Michael's, I thought this is going to be the closest I'm ever going to come to that color in its own skein by itself. And so I wanted to make something with that, and then also have a scarf, like an extra scarf, just in case it got extra cold, during the ice storm. But really, I really wanted to make a scarf, and it wasn't just because of the storm. But I used that Big Twist sapphire color, and then I used the black, and I mixed it together. And oh, I should have brought my mom has one that I made her like last year, and I used the Red Heart favorite stripe, and I mixed it with black in the same exact way, the same number of stitches and everything. but that one's really pretty too. But this is what mine looks like, and so it has that really vibrant tealish blue color in it, that Big Twist Sapphire, and then the black. And I love mixing black with a really vibrant color because it really does make the color just pop and just stand out. So I made this really nice scarf, and it is really warm. I've already worn it out, and I made it long enough to wrap around my neck like this, and still have a little bit here, hanging right here. But I mean, it's so nice and warm, and it's so pretty. I love this sapphire color, so I did make that. And I use that that dashed moss thing that I showed in a previous video. It's like a modified version of the moss stitch, and I call it the dashed moss because the holes almost look like dashes, like the holes in them are a little bit bigger. But also you can dash right through it because it's so quick to do that stitch or whatever. And I cranked this out in one day. It's really easy. But I love this scarf, so I made that. And then the Super Thanks thing. I'm sort of jumping around because I'll get back to, because like I did go to the store and went to and got the yarn from Hobby Lobby, and all that was before the storm. So, but I wanted to show my makes first, especially this Super Thanks thing, because I'm really proud of this, and I wanted to honor the people that gave me the Super Thanks. But in a previous video, I said that I wanted to. I made a little V. I separated it out because I'm going to put it on this thing too. But I made a little V for the for Vicky3232, who gave me my very first Super Thanks, and so I had that hanging on my wall. But I'm going to have it hanging on this too. But I wanted to make her a little V, and then. But I said when I made this, I probably wouldn't have the time to make like a little letter for every single person that gave me a Super Thanks. Not that I was expecting to get a whole bunch, but I didn't want it to get to the point where I got like a dozen Super Thanks, and then I accidentally miss one in like the stream of all the comments or whatever, and then somebody feels left out if I don't make it a little Z for Zebulon, or like I have the Waltons on the brain. That's why I said Zebulon. No, but you know what I'm saying. I didn't want to miss anybody, and so. I thought, like, I'm just going to make one for Vicky, like, to honor not just, her for giving me a Super Thanks, but also honor the very first time I got any money from YouTube. This was before I had gotten monetized and everything. So I wanted to, and this meant more than getting ad revenue, because this was directly from a subscriber. And so I wanted to, make this little V for her and stuff. And so, but then when I started to get some more Super Thanks or whatever, I thought, I sort of felt bad that I didn't, go through the effort of, like, making the little, letters and stuff. And so what I thought of doing is I came up with this kind of abstract shape to look like an S and a T for like Super Thanks. And then I was gonna make it out of moldable plastic and then wrap it in crochet. I was gonna do that same kind of thing like I did with the 1 and the K from my 1,000 subscribers video, and just chain up some yarn and then wrap it around there and hot glue it to the little moldable plastic thing I'll make. And so I wanted to do that, and then have at the bottom of it just make some chains. So, and then chain up the same number of chains as your initials. So like, EG would be an E, so it would be, I would chain 5. And then I would have something like a little chain to hang there for to represent all the Super Thanks. And so, I hadn't made that thing yet. But I thought I was really thinking about how amazing it was that I was getting all these Super Thanks, and for me to get that first payment, and like the perfect time to take away so many worries and stuff during that storm. I thought this is the time to make this Super Thanks thing. And so I made this thing. I mean, it's really it's cool, but like at the same time, the shape is just so off the wall. But yeah, it's not the most ridiculous thing that I've ever made, or that's in this room even, but whatever. So I made this thing, and this is what it turned out like. And so if you look at it, like this is where it's gonna hang, like this little loop right here, or the little hook right here. And then so if you look at it, it's like an S right here for super, and then like an uppercase cursive T, and so like Super Thanks, and then this is where the little chains are going to hang from. And so I did that with the moldable plastic, and I'll put in a shot of like what it looks like after I made it out of the moldable plastic. It's a really cool medium, and I'm going to show it in a future video how it works and stuff. I'm going to completely go off on a tangent or whatever in that video showing how that moldable plastic works, but it's a really cool medium, and I just love it. But I made the shape of this, and then I chained up, it was, I used some of the gold metallic, that really thin strand from Hobby Lobby, and then I used the Premier Basics Mosaic and the color Prism, and I mixed them together because I wanted to add a little sparkle to that Prism. But it's a really gorgeous color. I love this, and so I did that chain thing, and then I hot glued it to it. What was weird, I got to like right here, and I ran out because I thought I tried to estimate how long the chain had to be, and I got to like right here. I was playing like yarn chicken or whatever you call it, and I got to like right here, and I ran out, so I had to make a tiny little piece to go here on the very bottom. But it wrapped completely around, and I hot glued it and stuff. and so I made this really cool ST thing. And so I made all the chains already. I don't want to mess up. But I made all the chains for the Super Thanks. So I'm gonna hang the V for Vicky on here too. And what I thought I would do, I'm gonna hang all the other Super Thanks down here, but I'm gonna add Vicky's right here. On this loop here, just to kind of make it stand out a little bit, and have it, you know, sort of front facing, because she was the very first one to give me a Super Thanks, and she gave me a couple other ones too. There's some V's in here, but they're not like the V's like this. They're the numbers. But that's where I'm gonna hang Vicky. I'm gonna hang that last, so it's right in front. And then the one I made that represents my being thankful for you, I'm gonna hang at the top here. But anyway, so these are all the Super Thanks. So it was, you know, Vicky 3232 was the very first one, and then Tina Simpson 4270. So I chained 20, and so what I did was when I went and I got my bag of yarn balls that I had that I showed one of my last videos in that net bag thing, and so I picked out a bunch of random yarns in the from the balls, and I made these. So like from here down is like the 20, so like 20 for T, you know, Tina, and so I chained the 20, and then up here to make the loop I chained 12, because I thought, you know, e.g. 5 7 5 plus 7 is 12. You know, me and numbers got OCD, but I added that. That's the loop part. So like from the loop down is the 20, and then there's like the little loop up here, and so then I guess I needed to make the loop big enough to hang on this, and so see how it just, you know, it's going to go perfectly on here. So there's the first one, so that's Tina Simpson 4270, and then this one is Jody Belton 625. So, you know, I chain 10, you know, for Jody, a J. So I made that one, and then another Super Thanks from Vicky 3232. So this is what your initial looks like as a chain, Vicky. So I chained 22 here, and so there's this one for Vicky, and then another one from Jody Belton 625. So there's another chain of 10 there. So there's that one. See, this is gonna look so ridiculous, but I mean, I think this is gonna look really cool. But I mean, I'm sure most people are gonna think, well, what the hell is that hanging off of your wall? Or I'm gonna hang it up when I reassess this room. So I need to find the perfect place for this, so that it's in the background of the videos and stuff, so people know that I really appreciate all the Super Thanks. But I mean, it's just gonna be like, to anybody else, this would look like the most ridiculous thing. Like, what the hell is this? But I know, and you will know, and so that's all that's important. And another one from Jody Belton 65, and so there's another one, chain of 10, and then Delia B1. So I made a little chain, because, you know, a D, so I made a chain of 4. You have a little tiny one, Delia. So that one's your. I picked the paint party because I thought, like, yours is going to be really small, but I do love the paint party scan. And see, I already love this. I mean, it's so ridiculous, but I love it. And then Vicky 3232 again. So there's a chain of 22 there, and then Jennifer Ruckle 3954. I made a little chain of 10 there, you know, because J for Jennifer. And by the time this video comes out, I may have gotten some more Super Thanks. I'm not saying that to put that out there to, you know, encourage you to give me any. But I'm just saying, if you gave me a Super Thanks after I filmed this video, because it's in the beginning of January as I'm filming this. But if you gave me one since then, and you're wondering, like, why didn't you give me a shout out? Why didn't you make me a little chain? I will eventually do it in a video in the future. But whatever. And so it's just going to be out in what, June, July, August. Is it Christmas yet? By the time the video comes out, I don't know. But so there's those. And then I wanted to make a tee for the people that had the thought of giving me one, but, you know, maybe just they don't have the money, or they just, you know, they found a good deal, and I'd rather them, you know, find a good deal for themselves. But I did want to put a little tee there, just to represent the people that, you know, have the thought of even watching my videos and stuff, and that they are contributing to my channel just by watching my videos, because it does add to the ad revenue and stuff. And so I may not get money directly from them, but just like watching my ridiculous ads for, you know, my really long videos, it is giving me money and contributing. So this is going to represent all the people that, you know, have the thought of even just watching my videos and stuff. So this is a chain of 20 for the people that had the thought of giving me one. And so there's that one. And then to represent how super thankful I am to you for just being here and watching my channel and contributing any way that you can, even just by watching my videos and stuff. I wanted to make a little chain, or it's a line of stitches in my EG stitch, and I use the black metallic yarn, of course, because I love that black metallic yarn. And so I used that, and I made 5 plus 7 stitches, or like, I mean, so 12 of my EG stitches there in that black metallic. And so I created this extra long chain or whatever. So what I thought I would do with this one is I'm going to chain it through here, because I don't want to like stand out too much from all the other super things. So that I'd hang that there, to hang there, and then Vicky's first V, and I'll hang this off of here. And so this is what it looks like. This is how thankful I am to you that I would make something this ridiculous and have it hang up in this room. That's how thankful I am. I mean, I do love this, but you know what I'm saying. To have this hanging there, and like you know, for my niece and brother and sister-in-law to come through here and wonder like what the hell this is, like that's how thankful I am. I don't care what they think about it. I don't think, you know, I don't care what it looks like or whatever. I think this looks gorgeous, and any questions of like what this is or like what the hell is that hanging back there, I don't care. It's worth it because I wanted to, you know, honor all of the people that have, you know, made my channel the success that it has, and for, you know, giving me super thanks and giving me peace of mind during a freaking ice storm, and just for, you know, making me enjoy this experience so much here on YouTube. So I just wanted to make this ridiculous thing. I love it. I think this might, you know, compete with my Yarn Delirious, the most ridiculous thing hanging in this room. Or it kind of, maybe they're like, you know, cousins or something. They do kind of match each other, whatever, in a very complimentary way, but it's just one more, you know, ridiculously creative, beautiful thing to hang up in this room, and I love what it symbolizes and stuff. And I hope you don't mind how ridiculous this looks, but I just wanted to, you know, honor everybody that gave me a super thanks, and everybody that's been here and all that. And so that's the second make, the best one, even though it's the most ridiculous. But I just love it, all the little chains and stuff, whatever. But I did make that, and so I'll get on to the other things now. Okay, jumping back before the storm, I'll get to the yarn, but the day I went into Hobby Lobby and got this stuff, that it wasn't the shipment day, and I didn't get any yarn that day. But they did have a couple random things, sort of crochet related, and like I said, I'm probably going to go through that aisle. The one in my store, there's like the one aisle where there's yarn on both sides, and then there's another aisle where there's yarn on one side, and then the other side is where you can get all the hooks and knitting needles. And every time I look at them, I'm thinking, oh god, I'm going to get stabbed with one day. I'm looking at it thinking, you know, one day. No, but they have all kinds of, like, you know, crochet related things and all that kind of stuff. And so I've said that I'm probably going to end up buying all the crochet related things in that whole aisle, you just piecemeal, because I'm so cheap. I mean, I could probably go through there, and it wouldn't cost that much to buy every little thing. It's not like they have like a whole bunch of stuff, because I wouldn't be complaining about Hobby Lobby needing to get more crafty kind of stuff in their store all the time if they did. But they do have some nice, you know, crochet related things. So I was going through there, and they had this yarn bowl, and like I said, I'm the kind of person, I don't use like a traditional yarn bowl. I just thought, I found that when I first started to crochet, I found that tip where if you take like just like a regular bowl and then take a binder clip, you can stick it on the corner of the bowl, and then you can use that as your yarn bowl, and like feed your line of I'm in such weather mode, thinking about, you know, the lines and power line. That's the word that's in my head. You can feed your yarn through there, not your line, through the hole of the binder clip on the corner of the. I just thought that would be a lot easier, because I thought, like I said, I'm a cheap person. I thought I'd rather do that than like buy an actual yarn bowl, because if I had any extra money, it was going to go to yarn, and so I never really got like a traditional yarn bowl. But I was looking through their stuff in Hobby Lobby, and they had this really cool yarn bowl, and it kind of looks like a skein of yarn, like the bottom of it. And I don't know if I'll ever use this as like an actual yarn bowl. I might, because I was thinking, I do have like a lot of small yarn balls, and I mean, this is kind of a small ball, but I mean, I don't think it would be big enough to have like a really big yarn ball in it. But I thought I could probably use this if I wanted to, but at the same time, I feel like I want to use this as some kind of accessory, like put something. I mean, I know it's a yarn bowl, but yeah, I'm perfectly comfortable using like just my regular yarn bowls. Or I'm like pointing this way; they're underneath my blankets over there. The yarn bowls with the little binder clip on them, and I'd rather use this as something decorative. That's just how I am. But see how it looks like a ball of yarn if you really look at it, like the grooves in it and stuff. And I guess this is where you you know, wrap the yarn around it and stuff. I mean, it's really cool. And another reason why I bought this is I was looking at it, I was thinking, should I really buy this? Because I probably won't use it as an actual yarn bowl unless I use it. I just need it for like a really small ball of yarn, like the ones in my net bag or something. But I thought, don't really need to get this. But I was looking at the price, and this was $6.49, and the one they had this one for $6.49, and the ones right behind it, this was the only one that was $6.49. The other ones right behind it were more expensive, and I thought I better get this, because like I may end up getting this one day, and I thought I'm going to get this while it's cheaper than the rest of them, because like I said, I mean, a good thing about Hobby Lobby is if they go up on the price, sometimes you can kind of dig through and find something that's cheaper, like the old cheap prices and stuff. If they haven't clearanced it out, that they just kind of leave the stuff there that has the old prices on it. So if you're ever looking through something like the yarn, even the yarn is that way too. Like I said, you can dig through their soft secret, and you can find some that are like, you know, different prices, like in the same section at their store. I mean, they're the regular price, but it's still they're like, some of them are cheaper. And the posters are that way sometimes too. I was digging through their posters one time because I thought, I wonder if there's any that's like cheaper underneath, and there were. And so just like, and the bottles of glitter and paint sometimes. So if you're ever looking through there, just kind of glance through and see, like, I need this bottle of paint. Just kind of glance through, like, okay, there's like 7 bottles of this color, and they're all the same. Okay, but because there may be one that is a little bit cheaper, like an old price before they went up on the price. It's just a little tip from me, my cheap ass, whatever. And so, but I saw this and I thought this is really adorable and stuff, and I thought, you know, I might get it, but I wasn't really sure. But then when I saw that it was cheaper, and then they were going to go up on the price, or they already did behind there, I went ahead and got it. So it was $6.50. Totally worth it, because it is really cool how it looks like a ball of yarn. And then when I went over to the remnants, they didn't have any yarn or whatever, but they did have this remnant, like an actual fabric remnant, and it has cats on it. And I'm collecting a lot of like cat stuff because it's the only thing that they put yarn balls on. But this is a piece of fabric, and it has cats on it. It says meow and little paw prints all over it, but there's little balls of yarn on it too. And I thought that was really cool. I don't know what I'm going to use this for, but I feel like it'd make like a perfect amount for like a little throw pillow or something in this room. I'm going to do something really creative with this that's going to go in this room. But I just love the little yarn balls on it. And this was $4.34 for this. It's 45, and I'm doing the specs of the remnants. I don't do it on yarn and stuff because my videos are long enough, and I'm like trying to do the specs of like pieces of fabric. But it's 45 inches by 32 inches, so it's a pretty big piece of like a remnant fabric, or a piece of fabric. God. But I didn't even know that they had this fabric over there, so that was a good thing to find out. So if I ever need any more, I don't think they clearance this out or anything. It's just like it was just a remnant or whatever. So if I ever needed any more of this, because it is adorable, I can get some. Let me finish that thought, and then before I go on to the next, God, I do that a lot. I'm like, stop in the middle of what I'm saying, and then I go into the next thought, and I never come back to the other one. Hopefully it'll all make sense in the end for you. It does in my head. But like, this is the kind of stuff I wish they had more of. Like, they have that big section full of fabric and stuff, and like, I've seen some vintage fabric on eBay that was, it even has like the Joanne label on it, where like adorable fabric that has like yarn balls and stuff all over it. Like, that's the kind of stuff they should stock in Hobby Lobby. They need to have more crafty kind of stuff to appeal to the people that, like the interests of people that go into Hobby Lobby for the craft reasons. You know, that crochet, or that, you know, I blinked because I almost hit myself in the eye with it. God, I'm all over the place in this video. But you know, like the people that are into embroidery, or like or any kind of fiber arts, or you know, like, some with like glue guns. They do have one that has like some kind of like a sewing kind of thing, but they need more with like yarn and stuff on it. But you know what I'm saying. But whatever. And so I found that, and then I was going through just like the store, because sometimes they put the clearanced items in the clearance sections, and sometimes they just put the clearance stickers on random stuff and then just leave it there. Like if you go through the beads, you know, sometimes if there's any left over, they'll put them on an end cap, or they'll put them over there in the clearance section. But sometimes if they clearance a bunch of beads at the same time, they just leave them there where they originally were. You can just kind of go through their aisles and stuff and like see, like I can see them like really quick. I mean, it's like a radar. I can walk through their aisles and see, like, you know, orange sticker, orange sticker, orange sticker. But it's really fun to, like, you know, go through there and look for the orange stickers and stuff, because like, sometimes they just leave it, you know, kind of randomly in their aisles and stuff. And in this aisle they had like a bunch of stickers, like, you know, little kid stickers, and these are these foam stickers that have animals on them. But like, I don't need any foam stickers with animals on. Like, the rest of them I'll probably get to my niece or whatever. But it was this bag, and I don't know if this was clearanced or if it was just like marked down, or I can't remember if this was like the actual price. But the price was like written on the actual bag because, you know, somehow the top of it came off or like whatever. I don't know if this is the regular price or watch. It's going to end up that I bought this for the regular price. They just had to write it on there because the top of it came off or something, and it wasn't an actual deal. But anyway, at least something like this was noticeable to me because like ordinarily I would not, you know, think to look in the foam stickers or whatever. But I was like walking through and I was thinking, oh, there's something like handwritten on there, like how they handwrite on some of the labels if the ball bands come off of the clearance yarn. There is a skein like that, and they didn't write the. Let me just finish what I was saying. They didn't write the name of the colorway on it, so I don't know what it is. But I saw this, and so that's why it stood out to me, and that's why I even looked at it. But it's all these animal stickers. But the really cool stickers in here are the ones that are little cats, and they have balls of yarn. That's the only reason I bought these foam stickers. Like, what the hell am I going to use these foam stickers for? But I wanted to get all these little stickers because there's a bunch of them. They're all the same, like the cat one with the balls of yarn, and like there are some other like have dogs and cats and stuff, and some that say meow and like whatever. But those are the only ones with yarn, but it was worth it just to get those, and then the rest my niece can have, you know, all kinds of little dogs and paw prints and things like that. But she'll love all the, you know, extra little stickers and stuff. There's some kitties in here too, but they just don't have balls of yarn. But I got that in Hobby Lobby too, but that was just completely random. But I go in there so much that I can safely say I'm probably gonna buy every single thing in there with yarn, because there's not that many things in there with like balls of yarn or whatever on it. And so no matter what it is, a sticker, coloring book, or I'm gonna find, if there's something in there with like a picture, like some kind of depiction of yarn on it, I'm gonna end up finding it, and I'll probably end up buying it eventually. But whatever. In one of the dozen trips I make to Hobby Lobby every week or whatever. So that's just like a random day that I went to Hobby Lobby. And then I went to Hobby Lobby on their shipment day, and they were in the process of putting the new yarn on the shelves, and so I knew that it wasn't going to be clearanced yet. And so that's when I went to other places. I went to Dollar General. I've been looking for, my mom loves Snow White. See how I did like 4 thoughts at once. My mom loves Snow White, and so I saw, it's weird how observant I am, like going through stores. Like I know stores shipment days, and now I'm like, when they're putting new stuff on the shelves, and sometimes they put like the little picture there that shows like where the new things are going to go and stuff. I'll stand there for like, you know, 2 minutes, like looking at it and think, okay, I want that little fairy or that little gnome, or oh, they have some like Snow White. So I know what that looks like. I know what that picture's hanging there for. And so when they started to get all the spring stuff in, even though it's not even spring yet, they had a picture there, and they showed a section of a shelf where it has dwarfs, like the 7 dwarfs, and there's no little Snow White thing there, but it's just like the 7 dwarfs. And I don't know how expensive they are. I don't know how big they are, but I've been looking for those. And so every time I go into any Dollar General around here, I'm looking for those. But it's weird that they're all the Dollar Generals are getting in all the spring stuff, and they have like everything filled up except for that one section that I know where it's supposed to go, because I've seen those pictures hanging there in every one of the Dollar Generals I've gone into. But there's those freaking shelves, and they're all empty. And so, and I don't think it's because somebody bought the 7 dwarfs, but I've been looking for those. Hopefully, I'm gonna find them or whatever. Watch, I'm gonna walk in there, and they're gonna be like, you know, this big, and they're gonna be like $15 a piece, and then I'm gonna think, oh, I'm not gonna spend all that on some 7 dwarfs, even though it would be for my mom, or they may not be cute, or like I don't know. But I've been looking for those 7 dwarfs, so I went there, and I did go to Ollie's again to see if they had any of that Red Heart Super Easy yarn. They didn't have any of that. And then I went to Goodwill, and the only thing they had in there was this big piece of fabric, and I mean, it's really pretty. The only reason I got this is because I was thinking ahead of, like, if my niece ever wants me to do another calendar for her, I thought this would be the perfect kind of fabric to use. That's why I buy a lot of the fabrics and stuff for picture backdrops, to, you know, give her the experience of, like, you know, her own little photo shoot, and then having a picture that she can give to her mom and dad, you know, my brother and sister-in-law, or my mom, and, you know, her grandmother. And so I do take a lot of really cool pictures of her and stuff. And when I see like a really cool fabric or whatever that, you know, might make a pretty backdrop, I always get it. And I thought this would make a really pretty backdrop, like for, like, if she ever wanted me to do another calendar, this would be perfect for Valentine's Day, because it's pink and has this stuff on it. And what was funny is I went to the line at Goodwill, and the woman said, "Oh, you know what that fabric's called?" And I wasn't really sure, but she said, "That's called eyelash fabric." And I said something really stupid, like, of course I had to say something about yarn, and I said, "Oh, that's funny. funny that they actually have some yarn that's called eyelash yarn, and she didn't have any reaction at all. It's like she probably thought, okay, what does that have to do with anything? Whatever. It was just kind of this funny, random, uncomfortable moment. But my ass trying to, you know, engage. I'm horrible at conversation with people, and so I just blurt out something and hope that it's a good enough thing to be a conversation with somebody. But I just blurted that out, and I thought, oh well, that was a mistake. Whatever. And so she said eyelash, so I was thinking about like eyelash yarn, but whatever. She said this is like eyelash fabric, and she was just talking about how she used some of this sometime to as tablecloths for, you know, somebody's wedding or what. Not this color, but just talking about like this is eyelash fabric, just because it has that, you know, kind of fringe stuff on it. It's really pretty. It's this panel and then another one. I don't know if this is like for actual like tablecloths or if it's curtains, or I don't know what it is, but I'm going to use it as a backdrop for my niece if she ever wants to take a Valentine's picture or something. But I got that, and I didn't even got the price. I've been sitting here for like 30 seconds trying to find a damn price label, like as if you care. Because I thought, well, I didn't even say the price. You don't care. You just want me to get to the yarn. Whatever. This was $5.99, and for like the set of 2. So like wind in my face. But anyway, then I went to Hobby Lobby. Like it pulled me down. But I went to Hobby Lobby and I got this bag of yarn, and I forget how many skeins it is, but I walked in there and they were in the process of clearancing and stuff. It was sort of it was my second trip in there, and so I thought, oh, this is the perfect timing. And so she was like in the middle of clearancing, and it was the woman that had clearanced it for me. Like walked over to me one time, you know, a couple months ago, and then you said, oh, if you want to wait, I can clearance the yarn for you, like that woman. So when I walked in there and she was clearancing the yarn, I knew that I could probably walk over to her and just like stand there and like have a conversation with her and stuff, and she would know exactly why I walked over to her, but I would never do that. I would never make her feel uncomfortable like that. And so like instead, I'd probably make her uncomfortable, like, you know, her seeing me like walking by like 8 times in her peripheral vision. But what instead I just kind of like walk through, like, you know, where the knobs and all that crap is, and like where the little candle holders. I don't even use any candles and stuff. Like, you know, I walk through there like over and over and over, just kind of act like I'm looking at stuff. Really, I'm just like waiting for that price gun to stop making noise, because then I know that she's done, and then she's gonna walk it over to the remnants and put it in there, and I can get first dibs at it. And so and I was walking through there or whatever, and then I heard the price gun stop, and but I wanted to like get as close to the remnants as I could without her like seeing me out of her peripheral vision and thinking, oh God, there he is. I knew he would be around here somewhere, whatever. And so I wanted to get as close as I could, but I didn't want to like, you know, stand over there and just like wait for her to like put it on there and then like me take it right off, because like I sort of feel bad, like they because I'm in there so many times and I get first dibs at it, and sometimes it's like right after they clearance it and then they walk it over there. I sort of feel bad, like I sort of imagine them like, you know, taking the time to like take every single skein and put it on the remnants, and then, you know, they walk away, and then a second later they turn around and there I am just like pulling it all off, you know. And when it would just be easier for me to like walk over to them and just like take the cart and say, oh, I'll take that, and to like save them the trouble of having to put it on the remnants. And so I sort of try to wait as much as I can, which is like, you know, 25 seconds. So I wanted to kind of delay it just a little bit, but I also wanted to stay as close as I could. And so I went over to the yarn and stuff, like the aisles where I don't buy yarn anymore, because, you know, it's even on the 30% off week, it's $3.50 a skein. So I sort of lingered around where the yarn was, and I kind of like looked. I was like where the end cap was. I actually was kind of looking at the scrubby yarn, because I was looking at the because like I said in one of my videos, I did leave some scrubby yarn one time that was kind of metallic and real glittery and stuff, and I sort of felt bad about that, because I wanted to use it for some kind of decoration, some probably to hang on this or hang on my yarndelier or something. I don't know, or like around my niece's tower or like whatever. So I actually was looking at the yarn, but really like maybe this eye was looking at the yarn, but this eye was like looking at the remnants, like waiting for her to move. And so, you know, I was kind of half-assed looking at it, and but I was like, you know, lingering around, and then I saw her kind of like walking in my direction, and I thought, oh crap. And so I just kind of acted like I was looking at yarn and stuff, but then she literally walked right up to me, and she said, oh, there's yarn over there if you want it. And I thought, I think I'm so slick walking through there. And but then something like that happens, and I'm thinking, like, they know exactly why I'm in there. Like, why even put up this facade? Why act like I'm looking at other yarn and stuff? I should like walk over to her and just act like I'm there, because she knows why I'm there. For her to like take the time to walk over to me and say, oh, there's yarn over there if you want it. I thought, God, it's so embarrassing. And so, and then I said, oh, okay, thanks. And you know, as she was walking by, she'll probably think, oh, listen to him acting like he's all shocked and stuff. You know, him like, oh, okay. And when she probably saw me like walk through that aisle over there like 8 times and stuff. And she'll probably think, what is that, you know, black thing walking through the, oh, it's just, you know, that guy in black that comes in here, you know, clicking along with his cane or whatever, you know, acting like he's not in here for the yarn or whatever. And I could see him right there out of my peripheral vision, like this shadow walking through the, it's sort of embarrassing at this point. I mean, I'm not fooling anybody at this point or whatever. For her to like walk over to me and know exactly why I'm there and just tell me that there's yarn over there, it's just, God. So it was really nice. She told me that the yarn was over there, even though I knew about it. I knew about it as she was clearancing it. I knew it would be over there. But whatever. So I went over there and all the yarn was in the remnants and stuff. And even though I did get all these skeins, there was some scrubby yarn that I didn't want, like that cotton kind, not the pretty glittery kind that I'm probably never gonna. I'm gonna have to, if I do get any of it, watch, I'll have to end up getting it full price or whatever, or on the 30% off week or something. But they didn't have any of that scrubby yarn, just like that cotton kind of scrubby yarn. They had some Cozy Occasions. They had some of those little Crafter's Secret cotton. They had some of that thick yarn. They had one of those. There's one in here, like the really nice kind, the Effortless Super Bulky, like the really pretty Effortless Super Bulky. They had a really pretty one, but they had one of those. I was gonna get it because I do have some of those that's kind of like tan and kind of like oatmeal colored. I do have some of those, but when I picked up that skein, I thought feels really rough, and I didn't get it. I don't understand why, like the delphinium colorway and like those kind of skeins can be so nice and soft, but then the ones that are kind of like, you know, tans and browns and stuff feel, I mean, they're extra significant, but they feel kind of awful. I mean those ones that I got from the big markdown don't feel as bad, but I guess well, there's inconsistency issues with yarn and stuff, but whatever. But they had that one, and they did have some of that. What was it, fundamental cotton or whatever, that I didn't get those because it's kind of, it's a nice cotton, but it's in between like the really nice I love this cotton and then that Crafter's Secret cotton, and so I didn't get any of that. It was just like a basic color, and so I did leave a lot of yarn there, shockingly enough, but then I got all this. But anyway, so I don't know how many skeins I got. I'll try to go through this as quickly as possible, but I love this yarn in the color Songbird Stripe, and I feel like, should I go through and like actually describe all of these, because of course there may be people that watch my videos and haven't seen all my other ridiculous videos and would actually like me to describe these yarns or whatever, but I've just gotten so many of them, it's just kind of ridiculous at this point. But the base of it is kind of like a nice tan color and has some greens and blues and a little bit of purple in it. So there's that one, $1.24, regular $4.99, and this one is these pastel colors. I love this yarn print, the color Sugar Plum Stripe, kind of like a pastel mix of pink and green and purple and some white in it. And then they had 2 skeins of that pearl spun. I think they're the same color too, and light taupe or whatever, or pale taupe. Yeah, 2 colors of the pearl spun and color pale taupe. Yeah, regular $3.99. Got them for 99 cents a piece. Really nice. I love this, how this yarn feels, and a pretty taupe color. And then they had 2 of another one. Oh, these balls, or these donut balls. The Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek DK, and the color Pretty and Peacock. They had 2 of these. And these are regular $4.99, and clearance they're $1.24 for these really nice donut balls. So I got 2 of these, and I do have a couple of these colorways. But the color is just, it's so amazing how these donut balls are. Just all the different shades of this teal color in these donut balls, but $1.24 for those. And then this is one that doesn't have a colorway name. And I don't think I have this colorway. It's one of those that's kind of floppy too. I love this yarn, and whatever colorway this is, it was $4.99. Got it for $1.24, and it has some tans and a little bit of a greenish gray in it, and some ivory mixed in. I don't know what colorway this is. That's a really pretty one there for $1.24. And then one of these Baby Bee Adorable Super Bulky in the color Jumping Juniper. That sounds familiar. It's one of those thick plush yarns, and has blues and greens and some ivory in it. That's really nice. And this one, I love this. It's dark. I'm trying to remember it off the top of my head. Antique Teal, that's what it is. I love this yarn in the color Antique Teal. Really a vibrant, deep, dark teal. I love this color. And so regular $4.99, got it for $1.24. And then Baby Bee Soft and Sleek Baby, and the color is Gimme Sugar. And I don't have this one. It's It's like white and light pink, and then it has some really subtle speckles in it. You know, some blue and vibrant pink, and and a little bit of orange, like really subtle speckle look in it. And so that one was 99 cents because it's regular $3.99. And then another one of these. And then another one of these, I love this chunky in the color Safari Trek. And so this is really, I got this in my last haul there. It has like a burgundy color, and then a really dark brown, and then kind of like a light tan color mixed in. And a little bit of a gray in it too. Really nice chunky yarn. Regular $4.99, got it for $1.24. And then Paint Party skein. I love the Paint Party. I love the Charm Paint Party. And you know, pretty. This is one of my favorite colorways. You know, the purple and blue and pink and orange is all kinds of really pretty colors. But the main color is purple. And regular $4.99. Got it for $1.24. And then this is a heathered yarn. I love this yarn print in the color Marled Mocha. It's kind of like an ivory color mixed with like a chocolate brown color in a heathered way. And so that one was $1.24, regular $4.99. And then this one, which I haven't gotten before. I love the yarn print and the color Cypress Landing. C-Y-P-R-E-S-S, Cypress Landing. Really nice, like silvery ivory color, and then some different shades of blue. Really vibrant blues down in there too. Some of it is kind of like a sky blue, and then some of it's like a really vibrant blue in there. I've never gotten this colorway before. Regular $4.99, got it for $1.24. And then a Yarn Bee Soft Secret in the color Avocado Green. I don't know if I've gotten the Avocado Green. Or it sounds a little familiar. It's probably one of my hauls I haven't put away yet. But it is like the flesh of an avocado. And so it's regular $4.99, got it for $1.24. And sometimes, like I've said, sometimes their Yarn Bee Soft Secrets are like $5.99 regular price. That's what they've gone up to in my store. But this is one of the ones that was $4.99 regular price. And this is one of those, this isn't Delphinium, the Yarn Bee Effortless Super Bulky, and the color Wild Brush. Really gorgeous mix of greens and blues and some brown, and really pretty mix of colors. But see, this is what I'm talking about. This is like the really nice, soft, squishy Effortless Super Bulky, but some of the, like I mean, it's the same exact brand, and even the same specs, even though it's not the same specs, if you really feel the skeins. The other ones, they're just kind of, they're more substantial, but they're not as soft and nice as these really pretty vibrant ones and stuff. So I don't know why. This is $2.24. Regular price was $8.99 for this, but it's a really pretty one. And this would go well with my Delphinium colorway that I have a couple of. And then I love this chunky in the color Heathered French Lilac. Different shades of purple in that. It's like a nice chunky yarn. This was regular $4.99, got it for $1.24. And then a Yarn Bee Adorable in the color Shell Pink. Kind of like a corally, peachy pink. I mean, it's more a peachy coral color than it is pink, but it's called Shell Pink. This is regular $4.99, got it for $1.24. And then this is really nice. Their Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek Chunkies are really nice and soft. Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek Chunky, and the color is Crisp Air. Really a pretty kind of stone blue color. And then this was $4.99, got it for $1.24. A regular $4.99, got it for $1.24. And then this one is Yarn Bee Velvety Smooth Aran in the color Caramel, and or Caramel, or however you say it. I say caramel. It is kind of like a caramely brown color, goldish brownish caramely color. Regular $4.99, got it for $1.24. And then they had a Baby Bee Soft and Sleek Baby, and the color is XOXO. Has different shades of pink and a little bit of purple and some green and like a white color. Really pretty. It looks exactly like baby yarn. This is regular price $3.99, got it for 99 cents. Really nice and soft too. And then they had 2 skeins of cotton. I love this cotton, and I really do. And the color Burnt Sienna. And it's kind of like a, now I'm thinking about it. I used to love this is so completely random. I used to love the burnt sienna crayons. Like when you in school, when you'd use like the Crayola crayons. I used to love the burnt sienna one. So it's kind of funny. So it is got kind of like a burgundy color. And all these are 99 cents, regular $3.99. And then this one, the last one, I love this cotton in the color turquoise. Really pretty turquoise color. And so that was 99 cents too. So you know, another haul. It's ridiculous. But I just feel like also because the storm was coming and I was thinking, and all this ice is completely shut down the town or whatever, I'm just thinking it may end up like affecting the shipments to Hobby Lobby, and this may be like I'm making excuses. This is my excuse for this haul. That makes it makes sense in my head. It may affect the shipment day and the shipments to Hobby Lobby, so I better get this now because I may not get any for the next couple weeks. That's the excuse in my head. I just get all this yarn that I don't need, but whatever. But who wouldn't it for a deal like that? So that's the haul from Hobby Lobby. Then I guess the only other thing is stuff I got from Salvation Army. In their craft section, they had this bag of, it looks like one of them is gone, but I had this bag of tinsel pom-poms, and this was 99 cents. And so, I don't know what, I don't know what brand this is, like, who cares? It looks like Hobby Lobby, actually. I'm starting to recognize it. It is. It's pretty bad that, like, all I can see is this. It doesn't have any logos on it at all, except it says Christmas Crafts. But just looking at the way the price is up here, I could recognize that this was from Hobby Lobby. That's pretty pathetic. Whatever. And I'm actually shocked that the woman in a Hobby Lobby walked over to me and told me that the yarn was on clearance. Of course she did, because I'm in there all the time. If I can recognize the label just from this, whatever. So it is from Hobby Lobby, but I got it at Salvation Army for 99 cents. So it's these pretty pom-poms that have these metallic strands or tinsel or whatever on it. I just thought I could use those on hats or keychains or something, you know, some kind of crafty thing in the future. They had those, and then they had a couple mugs. They're like friends in Harry Potter. It's ridiculous how many mugs I have. Like, if you went through my cupboard in there and saw all those mugs that I have, I mean, you'd think I have like some kind of coffee or caffeine addiction or whatever. As many mugs as I have, but they're just like, a lot of them are like fandom related kind of stuff. This one's a Friends one. It says, "I'd rather be watching Friends," and I thought this was really cool. So like that. This was $1.99. So like that with the couch on it, and then on this side it has the Friends, except they don't have their faces on it. Probably, you know, for clearance reasons, so I don't have to not the kind of clearance I like, but you know, for so they didn't have to pay them to, you know, use their likeness or whatever. But then with their umbrellas like in the opening credits. But that was $1.99. And then this Gryffindor mug, which is really cool, like really nice and like really nice and substantial, like a scanning arm. No, really nice Gryffindor mug. Like I said, I'm a Ravenclaw. If you care about any of that stuff, and, you know, the one person that's watching here at the very end. But this Harry Potter mug is really cool. It has Hallmark on it, so God knows what this cost original, the original price. And so this was $2.99 in there. Totally worth it. So it's like the Gryffindor logo, and then on the inside it's like the colors of the Gryffindor house, and like a Harry Potter Hallmark mug. But $3 for that, so it's totally worth it. I guess that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed looking at my makes, and especially this, you know, the super thanks thing. As ridiculous as this is, I mean, this is the most. I mean, I do. I'm glad I showed the yarn and all that kind of stuff, and glad I got all that yarn in Hobby Lobby. But this is the most important part of this video, I think, just because of how important you all are to me, and how you gave me such peace of mind during, you know, a really stressful time, you know, the past, you know, week or so. So I'll end this video saying again, you know, thank you for the super thanks. Thank you for watching my video. Thank you for being there and commenting and stuff, and just being a part of this channel and watching my ridiculous ass as long as my videos are, and how rambling I am and all over the place and stuff. Just, you know, thank you for so many things, and I really appreciate you, and I love this whole experience, and I just feel so grateful and thankful to all of you in this whole experience or whatever. So I just wanted to honor, you know, all of you in this whole experience, and another ridiculous way or whatever with this thing. And but anyway, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one.